Great college basketball game. Give VCU credit. They're a really good team, well coached, got really good players. They're really hard to guard. They're quick. They get into the paint, and then they distribute the ball really well. And to your point, it's hard to keep those guys in front. They're exceptional athletes, and we did enough. I thought we did a good job on Benicel and Shugla. In terms of those are the two main guys. Those are the knowns, and I thought we did a decent job on them. They're highly skilled, really smart. But that was a key. Now, Russell, we didn't have an answer for. He played extremely well, and we knew, him was, he was the guy at his former school, and we knew how good he was. I didn't know he was going to shoot 6'12" from threes, but he hit some big shots. But I thought our guys, overcame some adversity. I thought we were aggressive. To beat that team 48-32 in the paint, plus 16, and then only have 6 turnovers, and Melvin playing 40 minutes against that pressure, only having 1. Those are critical. Trying to get to the foul line. We made our foul shots. There's room for improvement, as you can tell. But I thought when we needed to make the plays, we made the plays. And in the Atlantic 10, every game's going to come down to 2 or 3 possessions. And if you can make plays in those 2 or 3 possessions, you have a chance to be successful. And I thought we made enough plays to win this game. And like I said, give VCU, it was a great college game. That shot could have gone in, and we'd be sitting here, losing by 1. So, but I thought our guys did a really good job. And I thought our guys did a good job, when Chance fouled out, sat on the bench for a number of minutes. I thought, our guys, Noah came in and played really good defense, made a shot, and we're going to need those guys coming off the bench to be effective players for us and for us to be successful.
Coach, in that leaf of need to improve, I saw you smile or smirk when Noel was talking about the defensive rotations. Just wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Yeah, it's like we're a work in progress. I've said we're not there. We're not playing our A game. Our ceiling is we're not even close to our ceiling, and I'm not sure if we can get there or not. But that's that team's an attacking team, as you see. Every one of those guys can take you off the bounce, and they try to go after mismatches. They see a guy, and it's like the NBA. They're trying to pick on a guy. But I thought our guys overall, we had some breakdowns. Giving up 11 threes, they averaged 10. Our goal was to keep them, to 7 or less. But I thought our guys fought, and we didn't do a great job all the time on the backboard. But we got enough rebounds. We played physical enough to come out with a victory.
Mark, how and why is this game indicative of an Atlantic 10 game? It felt like a playoff game at one point.
That's what it is. Every game in the Atlantic 10 is like a playoff game. It's going to come down to the last 2 or 3 minutes. It's going to come down to the last 2 or 3 possessions. That's what you practice for. You practice for those situations, and that's why our guys come here to play in the Atlantic 10, to play in this type of environment against a team of that caliber. And that's why it's so satisfying to come out with a victory.
How do you prepare your team in practice situations, kind of film and whatnot, to play in those, expect those 2 to 3 possession games?
Yeah, that's how you practice. You put the kids under pressure. You make practice harder than the games. You scream and yell at them. You put them in situations where they have pressure on them. If they don't do it, they run or whatever. So, yeah, you try to simulate as much as you can a game situation, and that's what we try to do. From foul shooting to end of the game defensive plays, end of the game offensive plays. You just, to me as a coach, it's just repetition, putting guys in positions to be successful. And if they've seen it before, they have a better chance.
The last possession, can you kind of tell us what you were looking for, and how confident are you putting the ball in Melvin's hands there?
Oh, well, who else's hands would it be in? He's just, he's a gamer. He's our alpha. Played 40 minutes with 1 turnover. There was no doubt that he was going to have the ball in his hands. Now, was he going to make the basket? Was he going to kick it? He has to make that read. And he made a great read. He beat the 5-man, and no one came over, and he finished.
Mark, you had a stretch of 12 or 15 minutes where you were stuck on 3 turnovers.
Yeah.
Something like this, that's got to be.
That's the key, especially against a team of that caliber with those athletes, you got to keep it in the half court. If you get, and now they're getting 4 and 3, 3 and 2, there's no defense for a live ball turnover against those guys. And so it was, our goal every game is to keep it under 10. And so that was a big emphasis for the last, since they came back from Christmas, to make sure that we handle the ball. If you're going to turn it over, throw it in the stands. But you can't give live ball turnovers. You need to play that team in a half court 5-on-5 if you have a shot.
How has it enhanced your offense playing Melvin at the point, and kind of what went into that decision? He said he's never really played that position.
There's no decision. When DeSante got hurt, we had no choice. He was the backup point guard, so we have a lot of confidence in him, and it's a hard job. We run a lot of different things, and but he's done a really good job of carrying that load. He has the ball in his hands all the time. He's making decisions. He needs to know all the plays. And I think, I don't know how many games he's played now, 4 or 5, I guess. Having a little bit of time off, from Christmas here, having 4 or 5 practices has helped him. But the more he plays, the more comfortable he gets. And, hopefully we can get DeSante back at some point. And then we can, put him over to his natural position. But right now, we're shorthanded, and he's doing what he needs to do for us to be successful.
Not only did Melvin have that last shot, he also had that play where he chased down that loose ball in the backcourt, got his own rebound. Just what do you think of the kind of toughness?
He's just he's our personality. He's the enthusiasm. He gives everybody courage. He loves to play, and you can just when you talk about people that have it, in terms of basketball, he has it. He loves to play. He loves to compete, and that's why there's no question that he's the guy that would have the ball in his hands at the end of the game. He's our alpha. He's the one that runs it, and as he goes, we go.
2 of the top 15 defenses in the country. I think a lot of people thought this was going to be a low-scoring affair coming in. How much credit do you give your guys for adjusting on the fly and responding?
I don't know if we adjusted. We just took what they gave us. We attacked. We got to the foul line. 14 out of 19. They're a really good team. We knew going into the game it was going to be a tough game. When the schedule came out, and I'm like, the Atlantic 10 did us a big favor. We're playing VCU. I guess the only favor was we were able to play them at home rather than down there the first game. But we knew it was going to be, a close game, and we were going to have to make some plays, and we were going to have to get lucky at times. But our guys fought through, and it was good to see, because there was some adversity. We had the lead, and they took the lead, and we could have folded, and we made the plays when we needed to make the plays.
Chance struggled a little bit in the first half.
Uh-huh.
Right out of the second half, you guys went to him a number of times. Was that just trying to establish?
Yeah, and he's not going to have it all the time offensively. I thought he had 3 rebounds at halftime. He had 12 for the game, so he responded. He defended decently, got in foul trouble. That hurt him a little bit, but to have 12 rebounds against that team, says a lot. And he's really the only guy that we have that can really go get it. Can get above the rim and get an offensive and defensive rebound, and we're going to need that. And he responded. He didn't play great in the first half. I don't know if he even had a point in the first half, but he responded, and that's good to see.
At this point in the season, how much are you paying attention to how these wins affect your net ranking and at large or anything like that?
No, it's just one game at a time. We can't worry about the whole net thing and the Ken Palm and whatever else. I'm not smart enough to know. I don't understand why when you win or you lose, how many, I don't understand any of that stuff. If we win, it'll take care of itself. And that's what we're trying to do. Right now, we're thinking about Fordham.
My guess is that was a better look than you wanted them to get at the end, with the guy that they wanted to shoot.
No, it's like
when the ball's in the air.
It's 3.9 seconds, so you knew, you have decisions to make. You can go 2-2-1 and try to keep the ball in front. You can try to keep the ball in front. And if you were going to tell me that we were going to have the lead and they had, whatever it was, 3.2 seconds, and he's going to take a 35-footer, you live with that, and we contested it. It is what it is. Anybody's going to get a shot off. It's just, you just try to contest it as best you can without fouling. So it's a tough situation, but I thought we did a decent job. They didn't get to the basket. I thought we did a good job, especially initially, keeping the ball in front. And that's, if he makes that, just live with it. There's not much he can do.
We talked a little bit yesterday about Jonah. Comes out 16 points today, I think 10 in the first half. Where do you see him?
Yeah, I thought, from an offensive standpoint, he hit some big shots. He's got to get better defensively. He didn't have one rebound in 34 minutes. So he's got work to do on that on the other end. But we need him to put the ball in the basket. And part of his job, before DeSante got hurt, was to come off the bench and give us a lift offensively. And now he's put in the starting lineup, and he's got to put the ball in the basket. He's probably our best. Him and Leger are two best shooters per se in terms of stats. So he made some baskets. We need that, but we also need everybody to improve, their overall games.
Chance didn't score that well, but he was your leading rebounder. What do you think about his overall?
That's it. It's like he struggled offensively, but you can't. When you get to a point where when you struggle offensively, but your defense and your rebounding, remain constant, that's when you become a good player and an unselfish player. His offense wasn't going good in the first half, but he really carried us from a rebounding standpoint in the second half. He had 9 rebounds, he had 8 points. He's our attacker, he's our athlete. We're going to need him to continue to play well.
Won 10 of your last 12 A10 openers now. As much as A10 is a random beast in and of itself, you guys have any science as to what goes into the build up to these?
No, you just got to take them one at a time, and in order to win or compete for an Atlantic 10 title, you got to protect your home court, and you have 9 opportunities, and then you're going to try to steal some on the road. So it's really important that you try to protect your home court, and it's hard to win on the road. In this league, great venues, great crowds. It's just hard. So you got to find a way to win your home games, and and then try to steal some on the road.
Anything else? All right, thanks,
Okay,
everybody.
Happy New Year. Thanks.
Congratulations on the win,
Thank you.
first off.
Thank you.
This kind of game, the win, not just the win, but the game itself, was it indicative of the type of play that you're going to see in the Atlantic 10 Conference this year?
100%. Just speaking from experience, Coach always talks about this. The A10 always comes down to a wire. He told us it comes down to toughness, which you've seen in my dog Melvin right here. But every A10 game is going to come down to 1 or 2 plays. It's great possessions. The call is going to be close with the refereeing, so it's just going to come down to toughness. Honestly, just playing through executing.
And you're new to this kind of game, but how did you prepare for these kind of games? You and your team prepare for these close-knit games?
Mainly just practice, and coach is preaching to us every day that it's going to come to 1 or 2 possessions. It's not going to be like a 20-point lead, 14. It's going to come to who wants some more and toughness.
Melvin, can you take us through that last shot that you made? What were you looking for in that possession, and how were you able to get the shot?
I was looking for Noel, but Noel said, he told me in the huddle, he said, if I seal him, just lay the ball up. And Noel did a perfect seal, and I was open.
Melvin, that moment clearly meant a lot to you. You ran up in the stands with your family. Where does that moment kind of rank in your all-time career moments here?
Just my mom been with me through the hard times, and that was just a special play and a special moment. And I just have to thank her for everything she did for me.
The A10, like we've spoken about, is a whole different beast, and you guys have come in with this, dog mentality you guys have had all year. Just talk me through how much that's going to carry over into these games, and do you really think that puts you guys over the edge tonight?
Most definitely. I preach that every day in practice. We can't be soft at all because it's going to come down to it. And as Noel and I, as captains, we just want to preach it to the younger guys and make sure that they're ready too.
Melvin, how comfortable have you felt playing the point guard position the past few games, and how has that opened up for you offensively?
I felt very comfortable now. I'm getting the hang of it, and my teammates trust me with the ball, so that's a good thing.
Is that a role you played a lot at previous colleges or high school where you played?
Oh, no, I was always off the ball.
Well, what do you think about the way Melvin's played when you involved in the last 3 years?
I love the way he plays. We'll talk sometimes in the game. We just be like 2-man game. Let's just play off each other. He makes it super easy. Having a point guard like that, he's like a threat on all 3 levels. So he can score the mid-range, he can score the 3-point, he can score down low. So it's it just makes it easy to work off him. If I'm stealing, they gotta it just makes it really perfectly easy. He's fantastic. He sees everyone, gets everyone in order. Great point guard.
What was your perspective on that last play, on his last drive?
We were talking, and they had fouls already, and I was just go aggressive, just be aggressive towards the rim. He's a great finisher, great playmaker. I know if like they really like went to him, if he had to dump it off, he would dump it off. So I'm like, just be aggressive, attack, just play your game, and like he's a great player, and it shows.
Any others for student athletes?
Noel, Melvin's your co-captain, and he's new to the team obviously this year. How have you seen his imprint on you guys and your teammates?
I think it's been really fantastic. Like with the co-captain thing, I kind of look at it two ways. Like I've been here, so I kind of know what coach expected. But Melvin came in, and coach obviously talked to him, knows what he expects. So it's like there's one person who's been here to set the example, and then there's someone else who's like with everyone else who's coming in new, who's also setting that example. So I think it's like really priceless. I mean, every day he brings something to practice. He brings great energy, great plays. I love working with him.
Any others?
VCU was 7 for 18 on three-pointers in the second half. What does your team have to do to kind of improve its three-point defense, learn from this game?
It's definitely rotations. We talk about it. Coach talks about it. It starts with the ball screen, and then everyone has to have each other's back. We have to communicate and be in our spots. We can't get beat middle or off the drive as easily. We just have to do our jobs, each of us, and tighten up on that. So, I mean, while like one person, maybe three, may start, like say like with me in the ball screen not doing my job. So that three may be open on someone else, but it starts with the very first play in the defense.
Well, can I just ask you, generally, what's went into the strong start your team's had overall, and how does that carry into Atlantic 10 play?
I would say it just every day with practice. I would say like no one's seen tomorrow, and then the best way to prepare for tomorrow is by finishing today. So it's like it takes a consistent approach of starting doing everything day by day, listening to coach, just trying to get better in a consistency. And then I think just bottom line, coach and everyone on the team just want to be tough. You know what I'm saying? Like we just want to be a tough, hardworking team. You know what I mean? You can't control the ball as it goes in the basket, but energy you can always get.
Noel, you're the one guy on the team who played VCU last year. What did you take from those kind of battles with them that helped this time around?
We just knew it was going to be a close game. It was going to be a difficult game, and it's going to be a hard game. They're a highly skilled team. They'll knock down threes. If you mess up something, they push. They're pretty athletic. They're crashing the boards for glasses. So I think it just was a tenacity thing for tonight, just preparing for it. And it was going to be a hard-fought battle. So, yeah.